Majo, John, Ned, and Juanito sitting on the side of my bed at the Fletcher Rehab, south of Asheville, North Carolina. I have, about 10 days ago, come to the end of a 6-month cycle of pain and healing around renal failure, with finally a very helpful diagnosis and a constructive treatment and pretty much a complete success. My penis is functioning just pretty much the way it's meant to for anybody, really, especially a 78-year-old guy. So it's an enormous relief. But I was commiserating just now with my roommate who's got a really bad leg wound and is spending an awful lot of time just lying in bed, just lying there. And they're giving him good treatment and it's healing. He's getting encouragement. But it's an awful lot of time lying in bed while I'm hustling around and sitting here and sitting there and shooting videos and talking to this person and that. So different. But it brought back to me a month I spent in Playa del Carmen after the renal failure had shut my system down and when I was in a catheter already. But I was in a poor person's hospital that was so underfunded that their CAT scan was broken and they couldn't afford to fix it. So they never got a good diagnosis. I spent a month in a hospital bed there, languishing. They were so understaffed you could go for an hour with no staff who could hear you no matter how loud you screamed. The staff were kindly, pretty much all Spanish speaking, but it was a kind of a desperate existence, and I had one particular miracle there that I want to record. I had big windows. I was sitting my bed was next to big windows, and I was in a solitary room. I had my own room, which was also lonely. And I would watch birds as they would fly by. And one particular beautiful bird, I think it was called a tropical canary, with red and yellow, small bird, not tiny, would occasionally land on the window ledge outside, and it was beautiful to watch. One morning, my favorite nurse, a totally Spanish-speaking guy, although he had an English name, Eric, walked into the room at about 7 a.m., and that bird arrived at the exact same moment and perched on the window ledge and pecked at the window. Eric says to me, "Es mi amigo. That's my friend." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "He likes me. He comes by when I'm here." And he did. That bird somehow knew when Eric arrived in my room the next morning. I was waiting for the tropical canary to show up because I was trying to pass the time desperately. And 7 o'clock, he hadn't come. Eric had also not arrived. I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if they arrived together? And they did. Eric showed up, and immediately his little friend was there. So what I did with that, I do things in my head, and most of them are constructive these days. Where I took that was not just a coincidence. It's clearly not a coincidence. It's way beyond the odds. What I took away from it is I loved Eric. He was a fabulous nurse and a good man. I thought, I am glad to live in a world where there are people of such beautiful hearts that birds come to see them. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like that, but not like Eric. Eric was definitely the bird whisperer. And isn't there, what was the singing duo? Karen Carpenter, the Carpenters. Why do birds suddenly appear anytime you are near? I'm not doing a good job. Just like me, they long to be close to you. It happens. There are people that good. And it's good to be in a world where there are people that good. I feel fortunate.